Hello and welcome back to some more Super Mario Kart, where last time we played through the 150cc Flower Cup, and today we are going to be finishing this nightmare of a game, because honestly, I'm just sick of playing it. I am sick of dealing with these garbage controls and the slippery ass tracks with cheating AI and garbage item balancing. So today, we're going to do a double cup special. We're going to do the Star Cup and a Special Cup all in one video, because I can't take this anymore, and I just want to be done with it. So, without further ado, let's begin with the Star Cup race for 150cc and see how badly this goes. Okay, so for today's topic, yesterday we talked about, or I guess over the past 2 days, we talked about some of my favorite books of all time. And so today, to kind of balance it out, we're going to be now talking about some of my favorite movies of all time. Now, I'm sure you can guess some of them. I don't think you need me to tell you, for instance, that the Toy Story trilogy is by far and away my favorite series of films ever, and it's not even close. Now, interestingly, had you asked me that a year ago, I probably would have told you that Back to the Future was my favorite movie of all time. But making my Toy Story 4 series has made me realize just how much I love the Toy Story trilogy, just how much I always knew how much the characters meant to me, but I've gained somehow, I didn't think it was possible, I've gained an even greater appreciation for them in making my Toy Story 4 series, just to see, because I discovered new things in making that series about Toy Story 4 I didn't even know before, that just makes me hate the film even more for what it's done to destroy the characters and the world. So the movies were a major part of my childhood. They bring me joy every time I watch them, no matter how many times I watch them, no matter what mood I'm in, no matter what day, doesn't matter what's going on. I can just put on any of those movies, and it'll instantly brighten my mood without fail. So, I think I can say definitively that the Toy Story trilogy is at the top of the charts in terms of just my favorite films of all time. If you ask me to rank them, as in ranking the individual Toy Story movies in the trilogy to see which one comes out on top, it's gonna be 3, 2, 1, but not by much because they're all incredible. Toy Story 3 is probably the best just because it has a really, obviously there's the ending, there's the final scene where, so long, partner, just gets me weeping every time. There's the pulse-pounding climax at the dump with the shredder and the incinerator that has me on the edge of my seat even though I know that they make it out. I've seen the movie dozens of times, probably hundreds of times, honestly, so I know they make it out, but it's still just the pacing and the tension is so immaculately crafted, it just still has me at the edge of my seat every time. But the big thing that I don't see get talked about a lot is just how intelligently designed Sunnyside Daycare is as a prison to break out of, essentially. They unlike some writers, they put a lot of effort into thinking about the logistics of the Sunnyside Daycare and like how Lotso has guards everywhere, and the logistics of what the toys have to do in order to, because basically it's not like idiots trying to figure things out. It's Lotso has a smart plan, or Lotso has a smart and intelligently crafted defense system, I guess, at the daycare, and then Woody figures out a way to circumvent all of that by using every single member of because that's the other thing. He figures out a way to circumvent it by using every single member of the team to his advantage and using all their abilities uniquely to get the job done. They all work together as a team to escape. But that's the other important thing, is that it is the toys' final showdown, essentially, until Toy Story 4. It's their final adventure as a family before they go off to Bonnie, and then they live happily ever after until Toy Story 4 happened. So, it's a nice adventure for them all to engage in together. Where it's the family of toys we love working together to accomplish one last difficult feat before the curtain falls in the original trilogy. And then there's the emotional equity of Andy growing up and Woody moving on. Toy Story 3 has an ingeniously written, intelligently crafted plot and an emotionally heart-wrenching story from start to finish. So it just does everything right. Toy Story 2 has that as well. Toy Story 2, obviously, you have the tension of, because it tells the two stories of, obviously, Buzz and the mission to rescue Woody, and then Woody and his sort of introspection as to whether he wants to go back to Andy's room at all, or whether he wants to go with the Roundup gang to Japan. And both of them work out well, because again, the logistics of Al's Toy Barn are really well thought out. The circumstances under which Buzz figures out where Woody is just shows how smart he is and how intelligent of a solution that is. Thanks, Toy Story 4, for ruining that, by the way. So, can I make this turn, for Christ's sake? God damn it, I hate this game so much. So yeah, Toy Story 2 has that as well, just to a slightly lesser degree, slightly, mind you, because again, Toy Story 2, that one scene when she loved, the Jessie's song, Jessie's When She Loved Me song, just propels it up to the top of Pixar's charts almost immediately, so it's tough to pick between 2 and 3. 2 and 3 can trade punches with each other. They're really close in terms of which one's better. I really don't know that I could pick. I mean, I can pick. Toy Story 3 is definitely the best, but it's not by much. It's by a very slim margin that it manages to win out. And then Toy Story, really the only reason that because Toy Story, the first movie, does a really great job with its characters and fleshing out Woody and Buzz's relationship, and it does that brilliant. Like, Woody and Buzz's arcs in that film are timeless classics, and they hold up so well to scrutiny. And then, of course, the I Will Go Sailing No More song is really, surprisingly, the full-on weight of that didn't even really hit me until my most recent viewing back in September when I was, back in August when I was writing the script for the series. Because I had seen that scene hundreds of times, and I loved it every single time. But I really, it wasn't until I started actively going in with a hypercritical lens to all 4 Toy Story movies that I started to really connect emotionally with what Buzz was going through in that scene. So it wasn't until recently that scene really hit me as hard as it probably should have earlier in my life. But yeah, so the character work in that movie is phenomenal. The comedy is just masterfully crafted. The only thing that's holding it back from being the top of the charts is that it does have very annoying contrivances with really. The gas station scene is just the big one, because Andy's mom pulls up to the gas station, and they're like, hey, let's pump the gas, but then they go inside the store to get something from, I don't know if they get a snack or whatever, and then they come back out a minute later, and they're just leaving. Like, they don't pump the gas. They go to the gas station to pump the gas, and then they don't pump the gas. And it's only because of that they get left behind, and then seconds later, the Pizza Planet truck comes up to take them to where they're going. That one's a little more forgivable, because it's reasonable to assume that the Pizza Planet truck would have to make a refueling station at some point, but the problem is that it's just the timing of it all, that it happens to occur, that truck happens to pull up at the exact second that Woody and Buzz needed it to pull up. So yeah, that's the only thing holding the first movie back, is just the amount of contrivance that's in that film. Really, it's that one scene, and good God, I hate ice physics. Yeah, let's make the already slippery controls even worse by putting him in an ice level. Yeah, that'll go over real well. Best idea yet. Honestly, this is the best idea you come up with yet. That's great. Just truly spectacular. Truly true. What the hell was that? I just got ping-ponged around is what happened right there. Lovely. Having a lot of fun playing this incredible video game. Let me tell you. Good God almighty. It's so slippery. It's so goddamn slippery. Jesus Christ almighty. Anyways, yeah, that's the Toy Story movies. If you want to know more, if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about why Toy Story 4 is so bad and why I hate it so much, then boy howdy do I have a series for you. It's called How Toy Story 4 Destroyed Everything. It shouldn't take you that long to find it, so I encourage you to check it out. If you've not already seen it, I encourage you to check it out for yourself, because it basically demonstrably proves that Toy Story 4 is a terrible movie that destroys every single substantive thing that the original three movies set up. So there's that, I guess. Beyond that, Aladdin, I love Aladdin. Aladdin is one of my favorite movies of all time. You know which one I'm talking about. Good God, whose genius idea was it to put these tiny little blocks in the, like, why? What fun is it to be ping-ponged around these tiny little blocks? Why? Why is this a thing in the game? I don't understand. You already have the slippery ice physics, and you wanted to compound the issue by putting tiny little ice blocks all over the place that you get stuck between? Really? Was that the best idea you could have come up with for this level? This is, oh my God. And you know, at least it's the final episode. At least it's the final episode, and I don't ever have to play this game again after today. That's the important part, is I never have to touch this game with a 10-foot pole ever again once we're done today. If we're done today, because good God almighty, this just, oh my God. Oh yeah, Aladdin's awesome. Very much love the story of Aladdin, the story between Aladdin and Jasmine, the story of Aladdin and the Genie. Just the music is obviously very, very catchy to listen to. One Jump Ahead, Friend Like Me, Whole New World, Arabian Nights. Really, every song in obviously Prince Ali. Every song in that soundtrack is just perfection. So yeah, I very much love Aladdin. Really felt, even when I was a kid, I really connected with his Aladdin's journey and the message he was trying to get across. I love the first Aladdin movie, it's why Return of Jafar, as we would call it from an earlier episode, pisses me off so much, because I really, really love the first Aladdin, and the second movie just spits all over it. At least it ended well with Aladdin 3, though. Yeah, Aladdin's definitely up there. And I'll tell you some more of my favorite movies of all time after I kill myself, because I have to play this stupid level again. I'll see you in a second. Where did that red show go? I don't know, but it definitely didn't go to the car directly in front of me. That's for damn sure. Really? By a nanosecond again. By a nanosecond again. Oh, yeah, okay. It's fine. Anyway, next up, the Back to the Future trilogy. That was just a blast to watch from start to finish, and I've rewatched those movies also many times since I first saw them. It's one of a very small number of time travel stories that actually handles time travel competently and has consistent rules that make logical sense, despite what Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma wants you to believe, because it has the audacity to criticize Back to the Future when its own time travel rules make about as much sense as a bowl of spaghetti, which is to say that there's no cogency to it whatsoever, and it's just a bunch of noodles noodling around, trying to figure out what the hell's going on, because that's all that stupid game is. But that's a topic for a different day. That's a different day. We're doing positive for this video. So, Back to the Future, phenomenal. I think the first one is definitely the best, just because that's when like lightning in a bottle. I mean, the sequels are still really fun to watch, but I think the lightning in a bottle moment was that first movie where it's just everything was going right for it. It had strong character work. It had a really strong premise. It's the simplest of them, because the story is pretty simple. It's just kid accidentally goes back in time, has to get home. That's the story, and then so it has the least time travel mechanics involved, because obviously Back to the Future 2 and 3 deal more with the ripple effect of how everything changes when time travel gets messed with a little bit. So they're more complex in the first movie. In terms of the mechanics of the time travel. And there's a reason why I always use that clip of Doc I sure do love this game, at the chalkboard, explaining to Marty how the time travel works, because it's just, that clip is so applicable for so many situations in my scripts. But, point being, I think the first one's probably the best in terms of its pacing and its emotional equity with everything. Back to the Future 2, really the most interesting part of that is probably the last act, where they go back to 1955 and then they have to dodge around their other. I sure do love this really great video game. You have to dodge oh, for God's sake, you bounced me toward the thing. You literally bounced me toward the thing. I hate this game so goddamn much. Well, they have to bounce around their other selves to avoid being seen, to avoid causing a space-time continuum, time paradox, and all that, which is really cool to see, in terms of how it all can possibly happen without them knowing. It's kind of like Lion King 1.5 in a way, where they have to show the characters doing things, but they can't do it in a way where it would contradict the original movie. They have to make sure it's consistent so that the events of that movie can still take place. It's really, really clever to see how they pull it off. Back to the Future 3 gives a nice conclusion to the trilogy, pays off some character arcs for Doc and Marty. Doc and Marty both get their character arcs fulfilled in the last bit of that movie. I think that in terms of I should talk about climaxes. The climaxes, 2's climax is probably the weakest, just because it had, I guess I can't really judge it on any metric other than how on the edge of my seat I was. The first movie's climax is masterful in terms of the pacing and how the constant back and forth between Marty and Doc's perspectives, and how everything keeps constantly going wrong, and just how the music ramps up accordingly to keep you just constantly on edge as to whether they're going to be able to get back to the future in time. It's just so, that finals, I can make a whole video breaking down how perfectly that climax of them actually going back to the future is crafted. And 3's is pretty good as well with the train chase. That one's pretty, it might be a little off the rails, pun intended, but it's still fun to watch, and it's really, really intense. And then, of course, the final scene with them is, back in 1985, is really heartwarming to see all the character arcs come to full circle. So yeah, really a big fan of the Back to the Future trilogy. Now, let me jump into the Grand Canyon as I do this next one, because I'm gonna enjoy playing this one even less than I did the first time around. And it's just so goddamn dumb. It's so dumb how the AI just blatantly cheats. The AI just blatantly cheats. She just comes out of nowhere. She just comes out of nowhere every single time, and there's nothing you can do, because she just goes faster than you. She just goes faster than you. And also, I put a banana behind me and nothing happened. I put a banana behind me and literally nothing happened. And I'm just slipping all over the place. This game was not play tested. It just wasn't. It was not. If anybody's in the credits listed as a QA tester, they're all liars. Like, it doesn't make any, she should not be able to make that turn that well. She just shouldn't. She just should not be able to make that turn that well. Good God. Oh my Jesus Christ, this game sucks so bad. Oh my god, at least today's the final episode. At least it's almost over. At least it's almost over. Just 6 more races to go and then we're done. And I never have to touch this game ever again for the rest of my life. I'm greatly looking forward to that. I am very much looking forward to that. Anyway, favorite movies. Next up, Indiana Jones. The Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade, specifically. I was gonna say the trilogy, but Temple of Doom has soured on me the more. I mean, interestingly, Temple of Doom used to be my favorite as a kid. And I think it was probably only because it's weird for me to say that, right? Because it's by far the most gruesome. Like, if you were only gonna show one Indiana Jones movie to your kid, it would not be Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is horrifying. Like, I mean, obviously Raiders of the Lost Ark has the face melting. Last Crusade has the guy withering away in the final scene. But Temple of Doom is, like, actually terrifying for a child because it literally shows someone getting their heart ripped out of their chest and then boiled alive. And then subsequently someone else gets eaten by alligators or crocodiles or whatever the hell they are, I don't care. And furthermore, we have, literally a slave ring is what's happening. Literally children are enslaved in this temple. And, like, that's horrifying. I don't even know. I'm kind of baffled that the film was ever made in the first place because it's just... It's such a tonal departure from what the first movie was. And you're just like, how did this happen exactly? So Temple of Doom is, and really I think the only reason I liked it as a kid is because the minecart chase and the bridge battle. Those are both really fun action scenes to watch. More so the minecart chase and the bridge battle in retrospect. But and also the opening scene, the opening thing, the car chase, the plane scene, and the opening thing in the restaurant where they're fighting for the antidote and like they hide behind the rolling wheel or whatever to escape. That's pretty cool. But everything else about the movie has soured on me significantly the more I watch it. But Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade are both masterpieces. I really don't know if I can pick a favorite between the two, because Raiders of the Lost Ark definitely has the better pacing, by which I mean it's lightning fast and there's always something constantly happening, so you never feel like any time is wasted, because it's always, the plot is always constantly moving forward, they're always learning something new, there's always something character-driven happening, it's a very tightly paced movie to the point where by the time it's over, you're like, well, that was fast. And obviously it has the more iconic set pieces of the rolling boulder and the asp scene, and the truck chase and all that. So it definitely has probably the more iconic visuals in terms of the action scenes that take place and the set pieces. But Last Crusade is probably going to win out, just because Last Crusade is... I love the character development that happens between Indy and his father, so Last Crusade probably wins. And I'm a big fan of all the scenes that had me on the edge of my seat in the Indiana Jones trilogy. The one that had me the most on edge was the final scene in the Temple of the Grail, when it's just, you're breathless, because there's the initial shock where Donovan shoots his dad and not Indiana Jones, and at that point the clock is ticking and it's time to move quickly, and you're just breathless for every step he takes throughout those obstacles. And while his dad is in the back, the cutting back and forth between Indiana Jones and his father is just so well done. The music swells accordingly. The payoff of him actually referring to Indiana Jones as Indiana and not Henry Jones Jr. The final shot where they ride off into the sunset. God, it's just... I love that ending so much. They literally ride off into the sunset, but then they made Kingdom of the Crystal Skull! Kill me! But the reason why I think Raiders of the Lost Ark is probably the better movie is because better pacing, and Marion's an actual character who has, like, she's not... Marion's a person and a character, whereas, Elsa's base... Elsa doesn't really get much development at all. She doesn't have much going for her, and she dies by the end of the movie. Spoiler, so it's just like, yeah. But, so Raiders of the Lost Ark is probably the better picture, but I just love the development between Indy and his father too much to have that not be my favorite of the trilogy. Anyway, pain is this course incarnate, so I'll be back in a second after I try to win again. I can't take this shit. I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing this anymore. I made it through all three courses in the Star Cup. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this shit again. The AI blatantly cheats. There's no more to it. They're just blatantly faster than you. The most advantageous way to turn around corners is to slow down, which already puts you even further behind. The item balancing is crap. The controls are slipperier than an eel, especially on tight turns like that. I'm not doing that anymore. We're not doing the special cup. We're calling it off right here. I'm not doing this. I'm just not doing this. This isn't fun to play. This is one of the worst games I've ever played. This is embarrassing. I take back every positive thing I ever said about this awful, awful game. The controls are slipperier than an eel. I don't know how the hell anyone plays this game. You're slipping and sliding all over the place. Drifting is useless, and it is most advantageous not to drift in a kart racer. Morons. Jesus Christ, who made this garbage? Then even on top of that, there's the fact that some characters, like, there is no reason to ever use Bowser or Donkey Kong Jr. for any reason ever, because they're just so awful to control. Even worse than everyone else, somehow. The AI just blatantly cheats. They're just that much faster than you. They catch up to you way faster than they ever should reasonably be able to. The AI shouldn't be able to cheat like that. They make corners effortlessly when it takes you forever, because that's just how they're on a prescripted path that they don't behave like a player would, because they're just on a predetermined AI-driven path. So that's awful. The item balancing is atrocious by giving bananas people in last place. So thanks, item balancing, for screwing me over multiple times. And then on the cherry on top, basically all the courses are the damn same. There's little to no difference between any of them, except for minor alterations to the layout, so everything blends together, except for Rainbow Road, which is, you know, Rainbow Road. And all the turns are sharp as hell, so combined with the slippery controls, you're just gonna fly off the rails at every single turn you try to make. Oh my god, this game is so bad. This is atrocious. Like, good god, I need to play something to just... I need to play something better than this to kind of wash away with the hell I just went through. Just give me a second. It'll take a while to actually pull off this joke. It's not better by much, but I'd still rather do this any day of the week. Like, seriously, this is just way more enjoyable than what I just played. Anyway, that's it for now. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my suffering, because I sure as hell didn't. Next up is Mario Kart 64. I'm gonna take the weekend off. I'm not doing this anymore. I need a break from Mario Kart, because good god almighty, that was just horrible. Oh, please let Mario Kart 64 be better than that schlop. Please, I can't take another crap Mario Kart game. Please let that one be good. Please let that one be good. Anyway, that'll be it for now, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. I hope to catch you all on Monday for the start of my Mario Kart 64 Let's Play. Goodbye.